We are here in the paddock with trainer driver Eric Abbatiello. Thank you so much for taking the time on your trip up to Pocono to do an interview.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having us.
So your father, just legendary, fan favorite, Hall of Fame driver. So are you first generation? Or I'm sorry, are you second generation or third generation?
Second generation. My uncle was Anthony Abbatiello, and he was a trainer, and my father took over the driving side of things, so he drove for years at Roosevelt and Yonkers and whatnot, and I kind of followed in the footsteps a couple years later.
So we were talking beforehand. You have such an interesting story. I can imagine you grew up around the horses, but you took a different path at some point in your life. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I always liked the stock market, and I like racehorses, so my parents pushed me into the stock market end of things, so I did that for a number of years, and then I started racing in the amateur races, and then there was one subsequent race where I said if I win this race, it was an amateur race, I'm going to go full-time to the horses, and I won it by a nose on the wire, for better or for worse.
Yeah, that's a sign.
I stuck to my promise to myself, yeah.
So you said you went from the stock market to livestock.
That's right.
Have you ever looked back?
No, I don't look back. Once you make your move, you got to keep going and do your best.
What do you love about the sport that's kept you doing it?
Winning. I mean, whether training or driving, winning is the best. And a great bunch of guys, at Poconos, at Yonkers, and at Freehold, and at the Meadowlands. They're very competitive, and the competitive nature of things. Winning, when you win a race, you're winning a race for the owner, and that's the most important thing. Keep the owners happy.
Where do you call home now?
I live in and around Freehold, New Jersey, and that's where my horses are, in Freehold, New Jersey. So Freehold being close, I catch drive there a lot during the day, and then we travel around at night to whatever place we can get some work. So.
How many horses do you have in the barn?
6 at the present moment.
6. Any standouts?
No real standouts. Some claimers, but some good horses, consistent. Had one win last night for my owner, Dave Offenberg, paid $52 at Yonkers. So he's kind of a cheap horse, but Dave drives him, and once in a while I drive him too. He's an amateur horse.
Do you have a preference with pacers or trotters?
Not really. Each horse is a puzzle that you're training. You hope to put the pieces together and figure the horse out from a training end. And on the driving end, you hope to get the best out of your horse, and the owners and the trainers give you a chance to drive him the next week. So that's the best part.
What about a preference training over driving?
Not really. I mean, driving, obviously, you can win a lot more, but training gives you the satisfaction of maybe you took a horse and made him better. Like anything else. And training side, you get to pick your horses out, and driving's a little bit easier sometimes. You don't have to get up in the mornings. But I like getting up, and working and keeping busy.
So these are all multiple choice for you. Do you have a preference in track size, whether it be 5/8, half,
multiple choice today. Yeah? Any track you can win at, I think any driver would say the same thing. Half mile or 5/8 or a mile. Whatever track you cross the finish line first, that's your favorite track.
So you experienced a bad accident about 2 years ago. Talk to us about rehabbing and what kind of propelled you to get back out there.
Yeah, at the time I was at Freehold, and I was in an accident, and one time or another, all drivers get into an accident, unfortunately, and it was a horse flipped over in front of me, and I broke, I think, 28 bones and was out for about 3 or 4 months. But came back quicker than I should have. Still have some aches and pains. But, yeah, rehab was great. My owners were supportive. The trainers put me back up when I came back. But, it was a lot of pain for the first month or two, so I was in a wheelchair. But knock on wood, I'll never see an accident like that again, and no one ever will either.
Right,
so.
Right. No, absolutely. I always wonder, you have to gain perspective when you have time away from a sport that you love, and, to get your body back in shape to get back out there, it definitely takes a lot of work.
Sure, it does, yeah. When I was laying in the hospital bed and I was looking up, watching the races, and I said, I'll never be able to race again because all your bones are broken. Before you know it, 3 months later, you're not scared and you're back racing. And all these guys are the same way. They're all brave, so they would do the same thing I did.
Even then, you weren't thinking maybe I should put my suit back on and Wall Street?
No. Just waiting so I could walk again and get in the race bike and work. So.
What would you say is a memorable win or a memorable race for you?
My first win was probably the most memorable with Star Point Quick at Freehold. Brian Rowland gave me that drive. And had a bunch of wins in the Open at Yonkers with Western Graduate and Oman Hanover and some of the other horses I had at that time. So probably just a lot of general good horses that were consistent and some good owners.
So talk to us about your colors.
The same exact as my father's, really. Just the E and the A. But, yeah, my father wanted to follow in his footsteps, so I subsequently took his colors. And for whatever reason, I don't think they know it's his, but they are.
Does your father ever come to the barn and help you out?
Every day, yep. He's in Florida for half the year, and then he comes to the barn for the rest of the year. So, yep, he comes and helps out. He likes to keep busy.
Very good.
So.
I understand his nickname was the Red Man. Do you have a nickname?
Some people, Jackie Lee nicknamed me the Little Red Man. Which wasn't too creative, but it fits.
You mind it?
No, I don't mind it at all. As long as they call you, when they stop calling you, you got problems.
Yes, it could be worse too. They
Yeah.
could call you other things. So Eric, right now is going to turn the tables a little bit and ask you questions about yourself off the track in the lightning round. So
sure.
share your favorite food with us.
Anything seafood for the most part. Yeah, fish, anything like that.
Very good. What about your favorite drink? What do you wash it down with?
Corona, usually. Yep.
Nice. Did you see those new Corona commercials? It's like all state of mind. You're
I
always in
think
the
so. They sit on the beach and the lady comes out of the office and jumps on the beach chair. Yeah.
With so much traveling, how do you keep your energy up? Do you do Red Bull? Do you coffee?
I think it's a combination of, just pacing yourself throughout the day. I mean, we all get tired, but the next day when you jump up and you have an opportunity to win a race, that's what keeps you going.
What would be a dream vacation for you?
Dream vacation would probably be out with some friends or girlfriend in Florida, fishing and relaxing on the beach. Something, with my cell phone, of course.
And a Corona, of
Yeah,
course.
of course.
Do you remember the first concert you ever went to?
First concert I went to, that was probably a Journey concert when I was in high school. That was a long time ago, yeah. I forget the songs they sang, but I think that was the group, yeah.
That's a very good first concert. And what about your first car?
I had a little red truck that I bought that used to go back and forth, had my farmer's license, but I had an accident, we crashed it, so.
No. Well, everybody has one of those as well under their
Exactly
belt.
right.
You live and you learn. Idols for you. Anybody that you've looked up to, any mentors in the business?
And obviously my father, because he covered Yonkers Raceway and Roosevelt Raceway pretty frequently. Obviously, Hervé Fillon's got the most wins, of any driver. A lot of guys that are around today, consistent guys. Buddy Gilmore was a good friend of my father's. And these guys here today, they're all good guys. I mean, Cat Manzi's got 12,000 wins, I believe. So, and he's no signs of slowing down. So all those guys are consistent, hardworking, and good for the sport.
It's wonderful. Would you mind sharing what you like about Pocono? What do you like about driving here, the track, the paddock?
Everything in general. I did go up to the casino. I lost $60, so I don't like the casino. But the guys are here. The track's absolutely perfect. It closes, I think, November 12th or something. So look forward to coming back if I can get some work and bring my own horses here. I think just a perfect surface, keeps the horses sound, and a nice bunch of people.
Eric, thank you so much for doing the interview. We're glad you won that race all those years ago and that you stuck with it. It was a pleasure doing the interview. We wish you luck the rest of the season.
Thank you very much for having me.